Evelyn's heart raced as she held Jake's tiny hand, the warmth of his grip a comforting anchor. They were in their garden, surrounded by vibrant flowers and the soft hum of alien wildlife. Jake's laughter filled the air as he chased after a butterfly, his joy infectious. Suddenly, a piercing shriek shattered the tranquility. Evelyn's eyes snapped to the sky, where a blinding light tore through the clouds, descending rapidly. "Mom, what's that?" Jake's voice trembled, his small frame pressing closer to her. "Stay behind me, Jake," Evelyn commanded, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her chest. The light coalesced into a sleek, menacing ship that landed with a thud, flattening the garden's flowers. The ship's hatch hissed open, and a group of heavily armed aliens emerged, their eyes cold and calculating. Evelyn's mind raced. These weren't Galactic Council representatives. They were something far worse. "Hand over the boy," the leader growled, his voice distorted through a translator. "We need his genes." Evelyn's grip tightened around Jake's hand. "Over my dead body," she spat, positioning herself protectively in front of her son. Without warning, one of the aliens lunged forward, yanking Jake from her grasp. Evelyn screamed, her voice raw with desperation, but her fists were no match for the alien's brute strength. As Jake was dragged toward the ship, Evelyn's eyes locked with his, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Mom! Help!" Jake's cry was cut short as the ship's hatch sealed shut. Evelyn's knees hit the ground, the scent of crushed flowers mingling with the acrid tang of burned ozone. The ship's engines roared to life, and within moments, it was gone, leaving only a charred circle where it had landed. Her world shattered, Evelyn struggled to her feet, her resolve hardening with each passing second. She stormed into her house, her fingers flying over the controls of her communication console. The Galactic Council's emblem flashed on the screen before a composed, alien face appeared. "Counselor Threx," she began, her voice barely concealing her fury. "My son has been kidnapped by a rogue faction. I need the Council's help to get him back." Threx's expression remained impassive. Human emotions often cloud judgment. "This is not a matter for the Council." Evelyn's fists clenched. "He's just a child. They plan to experiment on him." "That is unfortunate," Threx interrupted. "But we cannot allocate resources based on emotional pleas." The screen went dark, and Evelyn's rage surged, hot and blinding. She knew the Council would be of no help. Her only option was to rely on herself. Her mind buzzed with plans and possibilities. She would find Jake, no matter the cost. Packing quickly, Evelyn armed herself with whatever she could find, a plasma pistol, a scanner, and a few precious items to trade. As she prepared to leave, she glanced at a photo of her and Jake, smiling on a beach. The memory fueled her determination. She would bring him back. Evelyn stepped outside, the alien sun casting long shadows. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the journey ahead. Her maternal instinct had ignited a fire that nothing in the galaxy could extinguish. With one last look at her home, she set off towards the spaceport, each step filled with purpose. As she boarded her ship, Evelyn knew this was just the beginning. She was about to embark on a mission that would test her limits, defy the Council's expectations, and prove that a mother's love was the most powerful force in the galaxy. The engines roared to life, and with a determined glare, Evelyn launched into the vast unknown, ready to face whatever came her way. The ship's engines roared to life, thrusting Evelyn into the vast expanse of space. She had barely left her home planet's atmosphere when the onboard console beeped urgently. An incoming message flashed on the screen, and Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. It was from an anonymous source, the subject line reading, "Information on Jake's kidnappers." She opened the message, her eyes scanning the cryptic text. "Zeta 9 Station. Seek out Vrax. Trust no one." Evelyn's mind raced. Zeta 9 was notorious for its lawlessness, a hub for smugglers and mercenaries. But if this Vrax had information about Jake, she had no choice but to go. As she approached Zeta 9, the station loomed large, its jagged exterior teeming with activity. Evelyn docked her ship and steeled herself, exiting into the chaotic marketplace. The air was thick with the scent of alien spices and the hum of countless languages. Evelyn navigated through the throng, her eyes scanning for potential threats. Every corner seemed to harbor danger, but she kept her focus. She finally found a seedy bar, its dimly lit interior a stark contrast to the bustling market outside. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. The bar fell silent as she entered, alien eyes tracking her every move. Evelyn ignored the stares and approached the bartender, a grizzled old alien with one eye. "I'm looking for Vrax," she said, her voice firm. The bartender's eye narrowed. "Vrax doesn't like being found." Evelyn placed a small pouch of credits on the counter. "It's important." The bartender grunted, snatched the pouch, and jerked his head towards a shadowy corner. Evelyn turned to see a hulking figure seated alone, a hood obscuring his face. She walked over, her pulse quickening. "Vrax?" she asked, her voice steady despite the tension. The figure looked up, revealing sharp, reptilian features. "Who's asking?" "Evelyn," she replied, meeting his gaze. "I'm looking for my son, Jake. He was taken by a rogue faction." Vrax studied her for a moment, then gestured for her to sit. "I know who took your boy. They're dangerous, experimenting on humans for genetic manipulation." Evelyn's fists clenched. "Where are they?" Vrax leaned in, lowering his voice. "They're hiding in the Ledhar system, using an old mining facility as their base. But getting there won't be easy. The place is heavily guarded, and you'll need someone who knows the layout." Evelyn's mind raced. "Why are you helping me?" Vrax's eyes flickered with something akin to respect. "I've seen what desperation can do. You're determined, and you remind me of someone I once knew. But be careful, human. Trust is a luxury you can't afford here." Evelyn nodded, absorbing his words. "Thank you, Vrax. I'll be careful." As she stood to leave, Vrax handed her a small device. "This will help you bypass their security. Use it wisely." Evelyn tucked the device into her jacket, her resolve hardening. She exited the bar, the chaotic noise of the marketplace enveloping her once more. With a destination in mind and a new ally, she felt a surge of hope. The journey ahead would be perilous, but Evelyn was ready to face whatever dangers lay in the Ledhar system. As she boarded her ship and set the coordinates for the Ledhar system, Evelyn's thoughts turned to Jake. She imagined his face, his smile, and it fueled her determination. The engines roared to life, and with a steely gaze, Evelyn launched into the stars, driven by the unyielding force of a mother's love and fury. Evelyn's ship dropped out of hyperspace with a jolt, the vastness of the Ledhar system stretching out before her. Her heart pounded as she scanned the barren landscape of the asteroid field, where the rogue faction had established their hidden base. The cold, metallic voice of her ship's AI broke the silence. "Unidentified ships detected. Approaching fast." Evelyn's hands flew to the controls, her pulse quickening. She had barely begun to navigate the treacherous asteroid belt when laser fire streaked past her cockpit. Enemy ships, sleek and agile, swarmed like angry hornets. "Damn it," Evelyn muttered, weaving her ship through the debris. "I need a plan." Her mind raced as she dodged and weaved, the enemy's shots narrowly missing her. Evelyn's ship shuddered under the impact of a near miss, alarms blaring. She couldn't win a direct confrontation, she had to outsmart them. With a sudden turn, Evelyn dove her ship into a dense cluster of asteroids, using their irregular shapes for cover. Her breath came in short bursts as she maneuvered through the maze, the pursuing ships crashing into rocks in their attempt to follow. A brief respite, but she knew it wouldn't last. A glimmer of an idea formed. She reached for the device Vrax had given her, its sleek surface cool against her palm. "AI, scan for any signals matching this frequency," she ordered. "Scanning, signal detected. Source located within the asteroid field." Evelyn's heart leapt. "Plot a course." Her ship weaved through the asteroids, following the signal. As she rounded a large boulder, a hidden hangar entrance came into view, its outline barely visible against the rock. She activated Vrax's device, and the hangar doors slid open, revealing a narrow entryway. Evelyn's ship slid into the hangar just as the enemy's ships reappeared on her radar. The doors closed behind her, sealing her inside. The interior was dimly lit, the air thick with the smell of metal and fuel. She grabbed her gear, her fingers brushing against the photo of Jake she always kept close. Stepping out of the ship, Evelyn's senses were on high alert. The hangar was eerily quiet, the only sound the hum of distant machinery. She crept through the corridors, her plasma pistol drawn. The facility was a maze, every turn a potential ambush. Evelyn's grip tightened on her weapon as she approached a control room. Inside, several alien guards were monitoring screens, their backs turned to her. Evelyn took a deep breath and moved swiftly, incapacitating them before they could raise the alarm. She scanned the screens, her eyes locking onto one displaying a holding cell. Jake was there, huddled in a corner. "Jake!" she whispered, relief flooding her. But there was no time to waste. She downloaded the facility's layout onto her device and made her way to the holding cells. The corridors seemed endless, every step a battle against her mounting anxiety. She finally reached the cell block, the heavy door sliding open with a creak. Jake looked up, his eyes wide with fear and hope. "Mom!" he cried, rushing into her arms. Evelyn held him tight, her heart swelling with a mix of relief and determination. "I'm here, Jake. We're getting out of here." Suddenly an alarm blared, the facility's intercom crackling to life. "Intruder detected in cell block. All units converge." Evelyn's jaw set with grim resolve. "Stay close to me," she instructed Jake, her voice firm. "We're not done yet." They moved swiftly through the corridors, Evelyn's weapon at the ready. Alien guards appeared, but her determination and sharp reflexes made quick work of them. The exit was in sight when a towering figure blocked their path, the faction leader, his eyes glowing with malevolent intent. "Going somewhere?" he sneered. Evelyn pushed Jake behind her, raising her pistol. "Get out of our way." The leader laughed, drawing a weapon of his own. "You're brave, human. But bravery won't save you." The tension crackled in the air as they faced off, the moment of truth hanging by a thread. Evelyn's resolve was unbreakable. She would fight to the last breath to protect her son. As the first shot was fired, Evelyn's fierce battle cry echoed through the corridor, marking the beginning of the final confrontation. With every fiber of her being, Evelyn was ready to show the galaxy the true power of a mother's love and fury. The faction leader's sneer sent a shiver down Evelyn's spine, but she stood her ground, shielding Jake with her body. Her eyes narrowed, focusing on the enemy's every move. The corridor felt electric with tension, the hum of machinery a distant drone compared to the pounding of her heart. Evelyn squeezed the trigger, her plasma pistol emitting a bright beam that seared through the air. The leader dodged, firing back in a swift, fluid motion. Evelyn ducked, the shot grazing the wall behind her. She retaliated with a barrage of shots, forcing him to take cover. "Stay low, Jake," she whispered, her voice steady despite the chaos. "We need to get to the ship." Jake nodded, his small frame trembling but resolute. Evelyn glanced around, spotting a series of pipes running along the ceiling. An idea sparked. She fired at the pipes, causing a burst of steam to fill the corridor, obscuring their movements. Using the cover, Evelyn and Jake moved swiftly. They were almost at the exit when the leader emerged from the steam, his weapon aimed directly at them. Evelyn's heart pounded in her ears. She knew this was the moment that would decide everything. The leader's eyes glinted with malice. "You can't escape, human. Surrender now, and I might spare the boy." Evelyn's jaw tightened. "Over my dead body." She aimed and fired, but the leader was quick, dodging the shot and closing the distance between them. He grabbed her wrist, twisting it painfully until she dropped her weapon. Evelyn gritted her teeth, refusing to cry out. With a swift motion, the leader knocked her to the ground, his foot pressing against her chest. "You're outmatched. Give up." Desperation and fury surged within Evelyn. She locked eyes with Jake, who was watching in horror. "Run, Jake! Find the ship!" Jake hesitated, but Evelyn's fierce gaze propelled him into action. He sprinted towards the exit, tears streaming down his face. The leader's attention flickered, giving Evelyn the moment she needed. She twisted her body, grabbing a sharp piece of metal from the ground and slashing at his leg. The leader howled in pain, stumbling back. Evelyn scrambled to her feet, her chest heaving. She lunged for her pistol, firing as she moved. The shots connected, sending the leader sprawling. Evelyn rushed to Jake, who was waiting anxiously by the exit. "Let's go, now!" she urged, pulling him along. They burst into the hangar, the ship looming like a beacon of hope. As they ran, the facility's alarms blared louder. Guards swarmed into the hangar, but Evelyn's determination was unbreakable. She fired with precision, each shot finding its mark. They reached the ship, and Evelyn slammed the hatch shut behind them. "Strap in, Jake," she commanded, her fingers flying over the controls. The ship roared to life, lifting off with a shudder. Through the viewport, Evelyn saw the leader limping into the hangar, his face contorted with rage. She set the ship's coordinates, her hands steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Hold on!" The ship shot into the sky, the facility shrinking into the distance. Evelyn's breath came in gasps as she finally allowed herself to feel the weight of their escape. She glanced at Jake, who was watching her with wide eyes. "Are we safe now, Mom?" he asked, his voice small and hopeful. Evelyn reached over, taking his hand in hers. "We're safe, Jake. I promise." The ship entered hyperspace, the stars stretching into lines of light. Evelyn leaned back, her body aching but her heart filled with relief. She had done it. She had saved her son. As they sped towards safety, Evelyn's thoughts turned to the future. She had proven the strength of human emotions, shown the galaxy the power of a mother's love. And she knew that their story was far from over. There were still battles to fight, still wrongs to right. But for now, they were together, and that was all that mattered. The ship glided smoothly through the void, a beacon of hope in the vast expanse of space. Evelyn closed her eyes, allowing herself a moment of peace. She had earned it. They both had.